Welcome back to WSAV News 3 today at 11. On any given day, there are more than 300 children in the foster care system in Chatham County, with more than 16,000 children experiencing foster care this year across the state. May is National Foster Care Month, a time to raise awareness about the hundreds of thousands of children and youth currently in foster care in the country. It's also a time to honor foster families and advocates for the systemic improvements to support young people aging out of the care system, and to say thank you to the agencies that are committed to changing a child's story. Brightside Family and Children's Services is one of them. Kate Blair is the executive director of that nonprofit. And to her staff, her team, and all the volunteers, we say thank you. Thank you for everything, because we know that it's been a rough year, and not just a rough year, a rough couple of years, especially when it comes to the organization and receiving the funding that you need to continue on. But before we get to that, I want to say congratulations to you on being a TEDx Savannah speaker. We do have video of that moment.
Thank you.
And I would imagine that your conversation with the audience had a lot to do with what you do with the agency.
Yes, my topic was something I'm very passionate about, which is youth aging out of foster care and sharing their stories. You know, they aren't often given a platform, so, you know, I have permission of some of our young people to share their story in that way, and I hope I did them justice.
And why are you so passionate about this?
You know, I'm obviously passionate about foster care in general, but when I came into this work, I never forget sitting in the courtroom. We hear such difficult stories, and it's difficult even when it's babies and small children, but sitting there and seeing teenagers, and maybe it's also because I'm a mother of teenagers myself, but hearing them and thinking how little time we have to right those ships, and if we don't intervene now, how, you know, these are going to be things that are just going to continue to occur, and seeing children that just experience so much harm for so many years with so little support in the system. And so, you know, it was difficult. I'm not a crier, but I would really struggle whenever it's a teenager in that courtroom.
Yeah, so CASA's been around for more than 30 years.
Yes.
You took the helm some time ago, and the agency has evolved so much during the years. Tell us about that process and how you've grown and how you've expanded.
Yes, yeah, so I'm very proud. I inherited a wonderful team, but at the time we were serving about 38% of children in foster care in Chatham County. Great board, great team members, and I think we just needed a little extra energy in there, and we were able to expand our CASA program to serve all the children in Chatham County. And then we asked our judges, what do we need next? And so we opened a visitation center, a place where families can visit with their children, parents who are separated while they're working on their own issues, typically mental health, substance use disorder, and work towards reunification. And so it's a place where they maintain their dignity, feel supported, and get to practice being a family. For many, the first time sober, many have never been parented themselves. And so that's a really important program. And then just recently we launched our Brighter Futures program, which works with youth aging out of the foster care system. And right now we serve around 50 youth, and they're the youth that aren't doing well in the foster care system. Most do not have their high school diplomas or GED. Most have had tens of 20 placements while been in foster care, and you know, just have no support. And I think the thing I want our community to remember is children are in foster care because their adults in their life aren't able to be there for them. What they need are adults. And so unfortunately, the way funding works, you know, it's difficult to fund adults, and that's what our children need more than anything. And so our Bright Futures program is a space where we provide these young people with adults that they can turn to in moments of trouble, in needing direction. And across all of our programs, our CASA volunteers, they're adults there for kids who just need someone to step in a moment where they don't have anyone.
And oftentimes these young people who age out of the foster care system, and we've heard it during the gala, during the Brighter Futures gala, from many of the people there who were in the system. Once they aged out, they left with a bag, and that was it.
Yes.
There was no other support. So how important are these safety nets for them?
So important. And just a bag, like, I mean, often they don't have IDs, social security cards, birth certificates, and we have to navigate all these systems to help them get things that any one of us take for granted. And those are things you can't do anything without. And so, yeah, without someone helping them, and it blows my mind the amount of barriers that exist.
Yeah.
And, you know, we, for so long, are teaching these kids, we're telling these kids we're there to care for them and we're doing so much for them. Then they turn 18, they could stay until they're 21. Often that doesn't happen. And we just say, you're on your own with no support. And it's very difficult. And we find that many of our young people became so reliant on a system, and then that system's just gone.
Yeah, and so what ends up happening to a lot of them?
Yes, so most unfortunately do not receive their GED or high school diploma by age 21. About 58% will be incarcerated by age 26. And most, while they're in foster care, 70% of kids in foster care in the state of Georgia will be incarcerated by age 17.
So here's the good news. Everyone out there watching this interview can do something to help.
Absolutely. And there's a lot of different ways you can give your time by volunteering. You can give of your resources by donating. You can give of your voice by advocating. Right now, we are in a crisis in our community. We have less than 5 case managers in our child welfare office to serve 300 children.
Wow.
And they're not even able to hire because of the way the system is. We need to call our legislators. You know, organizations like ours are so important because we fill gaps, and we're always trying to find funding to fill those gaps. But the system that exists, that is to care for our children, is falling to pieces. And Chatham County right now is experiencing worse than many across the state of Georgia, while we're isolated from resources because we're so far from Atlanta, where most of those resources are. And so donate your time, donate your resources, and call somebody, write some emails, tell somebody. And you can watch my TED Talk because I go into that far more to give you some more context for what you need to advocate for.
Thank you, Kate Blair, so much for joining us today. And you can find a link to her TED Talk on our website by visiting this story anytime, going to Community Corner. That's wsav.com/Community Corner. We appreciate you so much in the work that you do.
Thank you.
And the passion that you have for it.